I sent you all five a letter on Friday that outlined, even with a vacancy rate, we're planning for a 7% vacancy factor on patrol, a 5% vacancy factor in corrections, and even with that vacancy factor, the numbers are not close. So if you're prepared to go into the future like this, Supervisor Smith, I'm right there beside you.
Well, I just see it as it's a different impasse than last year, but last year we were able to work it out. So I'm feeling like this year the same intention is there. I don't think that you get a different intention from any one of us sitting here. At least I haven't heard one. So I'm thinking that we need to move forward. And you've heard our commitment, and we've heard your, you'll be back when you need to be back, whenever that is. And we go forward.
Then that's good enough for me, absolutely. And I, on behalf of the deputy sheriffs, this is going to sound very rude for me to say, but the decision that you're going to make is no more hard than the decisions they make every day, every night, that affect this county financially in ways that I'm really happy they're making the right decisions. They're making the tough decisions, you're making the tough decisions, and I'm just the guy in the middle saying, let's make it work together. The Deputy Sheriff's Association President, Dan Edwards, has absolutely committed to working with this board on reducing overtime. Our Undersheriff, Gary Hudson, has worked on the reverse 911. Mr. Chair, if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't be happening. Our Jail Commander, Tim Pierce, is making sure the training that the correctional deputies have every week, every month, each year, is enough to keep us out of litigation. So there's so many things that are happening in a great way. And then our business manager, Norm Thurston, he's providing me the numbers that I feel very comfortable with in saying, this is what it's going to take. Whatever you folks decide is okay with me, as long as that commitment's there.
Well, I appreciate your candor and your ability to sort of articulate what your message is to us, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, first up is Supervisor Pinches.
Well, yeah, I think it's all been said, Tom. Like you said, we can go back and forth on the numbers for forever. I have a lot of confidence in the CEO's office numbers, and I'm sure you have a lot of confidence in your people's numbers. But in the end, it's going to come out to what it's going to come out, whatever it is. The main thing that's important here is you have the commitment that if the numbers do rise up and beyond what the CEO's office says, you have the commitment that we're not going to lay off your deputies or anything. You're going to still keep your operations. And
Thank you.
The only thing we can ask for is, like I said, is buy whatever you can, buy it out asset forfeiture, and do what you can to keep the overtime down. And beyond that, that would be asking you to do something that you don't have the ability to do.
Thank you. Supervisor Delaware.
Thank you. Ms. Ford, do you have the final Schedule 9 for 2310 and 2510? Can we get a copy? When will you have that? Because usually at this point, they were generated and handed to us during the final deliberations.
What you're missing, Supervisor Delbar, is the spreadsheet that the auditor provides us with the detail of the 1,000, 2,000 for the fund balance, ending fund balance for fourth quarter, which hasn't happened yet. But the Schedule 9s have never been done at this time.
Yes, they have.
No.
Ms. White, they
beg
have.
to disagree.
But I can go back to my stack and show you. Mr. Huey used to bring in during these deliberations, and granted it was latter part of his tenure, but he would actually print out the end of the year Schedule 9s, and we were handed those as we went through. Ms. Glassey's shaking her head yes.
Okay.
We closed the books.
Yeah.
If we can get more or less, if we can get at least what there is now for the end of the year for 2310 and 2510, that would be very helpful for at least for this supervisor to deal with these issues.
My analysis this morning refers to them being in the aggregate $406,000 over their assigned net county cost. So you do have the net county cost numbers for the proposed budget. If you add the 406 to it, that'll come up to what they have.
I understand. I'd like to see the Schedule 9 though, if I can. Thank you.
To the CEO.
This button thing. We certainly we certainly do not disagree that there is room to move around on the numbers back and forth. One of the principles I always try and tell people that are new to county government, that are working with budgets for the first time, is that a budget is only good the day you adopt it. Tomorrow, circumstances will change. We will reprioritize. Staff will retire. Staff will move on to other jobs. Funding that we thought we were going to get from grant programs changes. We decide we're going to spend something differently in our 2000 accounts, or something breaks in the jail. What we're giving you today is a planned expenditure budget. And I think that's why it's difficult for me to say what is the number when we're talking about the sheriff. When you're dealing with the sheriff's budget, unlike other budgets in the county, there are a lot of negotiated items within their contract that are variables. And that has to do with how much they exercise for vacation payoffs, and what their premium pay are, and how many people stay around, and what our vacancy rate is. We think we've given you a budget that adequately addresses those. In the ideal world, we would be giving the sheriff more money right now for a just-in-case